Let's do this. The Cult of Hockey podcast by the faithful and for the faithful. I'm David Staples of the Edmonton Journal, and I'm here tonight with Bruce McCurdy. Hey, Bruce.
Hey, David. How you doing tonight?
Fantastic. How about you?
All right. Thanks for your patience tonight, and also to the listeners who like the immediate post game. But
Yeah,
bit of a
something like
delay
that.
getting going. It's on me, but let's get going.
Indeed. The other night we had it done, and then I forgot for 2 hours to post it. I got distracted. I think I had to clean the kitchen or something. These things happen. Is that your energy drink, Bruce?
It's just the San Pellegrino Aranciata Rossa. Very nice, sharp tasting, sparkling water.
What was that show from England, The Dark Mirror? Did you ever watch that?
I don't think I did.
That sci-fi show that was kind of
Sounds
like the Twilight
interesting.
Zone. Yeah, when they had an episode called San Junipero, which is one of the best episodes of TV I've seen in the last decade. I won't get into it because it's quite a story. Yeah, I would recommend that episode of The Dark Mirror. I think it's Black Mirror or Dark Mirror. I can't remember.
All right.
Bruce, this is our Two Good Things, Two Bad Things, and Two Numbers podcast plus one conundrum on the Edmonton Oilers 4-3 victory over the percentage-wise heading into the game, the best team in the NHL, the New York Rangers. For the second game in a row, the Oilers came back from 1-goal deficits heading into the third and scored 4 goals in quick succession to win the game.
Succession.
It's astonishing. It was fantastic against New Jersey. It was even better in some ways tonight because it looked like they were going to get goalied again by Jonathan Quick. And all of a sudden, one of the goals from Evander Kane was kind of a weak one. And even the Foegele goal maybe, but he suddenly looked very human, and the Oilers got a much, 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 much needed victory. They're now 5 points out of the final wild card spot with a game in hand on Arizona. Right. So Bruce, we'll do 2 good things each. What's your first good thing?
Yeah, well, I will go with Warren Foegele, who I dumped on a little bit last night for his puck management, and during the course of action tonight, I may have said a thing or two about that, but overwhelmingly positive. He played a very, very strong game, and he I actually heard the post-game interview, and one of the times I wasn't happy was when he tried to pass on a 2-on-1, and he said he went to the bench, and one of the coaches said, "You got to shoot more on that play." And he said, so next time down, I went down, and he said, "It's not. I don't like looking off Leo."
Yeah.
But I guess that makes more incentive that you better make your shot if you're not. But he did look off Leon, and it was the right play to do, and he made a fantastic bullet shot into the corner of the net on the fly. In the third period, I can't remember if it was just before that or just after, he had a deflection right off the goalpost in tight that easily. I think it was
he hammered that shot off the post. Actually,
it was a
Draisaitl had put it on net from the side. He ran. Draisaitl kind of
ran
net, and Foegele was there. Foegele was there, and there was a rebound, and he hacked that rebound on net, and it slammed off the post, didn't go in, which was frustrating in the moment because it was still 2-1. Just wait, what was the score at that point? It was 1-1, I guess. At that point, yeah. I think so.
There, anyway, but he got the big 3-1 goal, and then he made a big play on the 4-1 goal, which at the time seemed a little bit window dressing, but, no leads enough in this league, and I'm sure glad they got that 4th goal in the end, so, and he made a terrific play there, driving the puck hard to the net and then not giving up on almost scoring, and then not giving up on the rebound behind the net and finding a way to pop it out in front to Ryan McLeod. And he's sort of, I would tag team them as a good thing, actually. McLeod, who I thought was excellent last night, was excellent again tonight. And he scored that 4th goal by actually going to the front of the net and stopping and waiting for a puck to come out front, which it did, and which he promptly stuffed in the net, which I think a lot of people have been saying for a while. That's how you score goals in this league. It's nice to see execution of that. What I liked even better about Ryan McLeod tonight was there was a play in the first period where Ryan Lindgren, who is a very tough, hard-nosed defenseman for the Rangers, absolutely crushed McLeod going full speed. Just as he was coming over the Rangers' blue line. And my first thought was, boy, I wonder how much more we'll see of Ryan McLeod in this game. Nothing injured, but maybe just taken out of the game a bit. And to his absolute credit, he got right up and he took a run at the nearest Ranger, who was number 22, Johnny Brodzinski, and he hit him. It wasn't a Ryan Lindgren hit, but it was a good hard hit and knocked him down. And it was like saying, yeah, come at me, bro, and boy, you love it when as a young player's starting to exhibit that kind of thing. And he's now got 5 goals in his last 10 games. So
yeah, he's coming on. I mean, they may keep him there for some time now.
Left wing.
To have 2 lines that can score would be amazing, because the top line is an amazing line. But to have Draisaitl finally getting going, because he has been in such a slump with Kane and Brown, who were both slumping at his side, and dragging him down, frankly. It's nice to see Draisaitl getting. I don't think he was involved in any of the scoring plays.
He got 0 points, and the boys each got 2 on the wings. I mean, what are the odds of that happening?
He did have one wicked executioner shot on the power play. I can't believe that did not go in. And there's another play I can't believe that didn't go in, and Warren Foegele was involved in it, Bruce. It was on the penalty kill in the second, when Foegele drove the puck up the ice and put the puck over to Connor Brown in the slot. And Connor Brown somehow, it was the, other than Draisaitl shot, it was like these were 2 huge, dangerous shots. They were both just labeled, and Brown was coming in so fast. He got off his shot. It was a hard shot right at net, but Quick was in the way, so Connor Brown couldn't score. But that was a very nice play by Warren Foegele as well. Bruce, I think he's an underrated player. I think Foegele rubs a lot of people wrong. I don't. Part of it is there's a group of people who never want to give Ken Holland credit for anything, and they want to put Warren Foegele in the bucket of failed signings from Ken Holland. I don't think I'm mind reading this.
Well, they just traded Ethan Bear for him, and Ethan's got a big fan club, and rightfully so. But as I say repeatedly on such trades, don't blame the other guy that came in the trade. He didn't do it.
Well, I think Warren Foegele's worked out better for the Oilers than Bear did for Carolina.
You can make that case.
Foegele's still here. Yeah. And Bruce, in the last year, the first 2 years, I guess, year and a half that he was here, Warren Foegele wasn't great. He was mediocre, and he wasn't living up to his contract. He was just okay, barely, at best. This calendar year of 2023, he has been the Oilers' second best 2-way winger after Zach Hyman. He has been doing his job defensively, and he's finding a way to drive that puck up the ice, forecheck like crazy, and get dangerous shots on net. Now he hasn't gotten a lot of points, and he's not like Hyman putting up the points. It's because he can't. He's lacked a little bit of finish, a lot of finish around the net. Like he's not a great goal scorer. He tends to slam it right in the goalie. Yeah. So. But if you put him with Draisaitl and on the right line, he could get more points, because he's just creating such havoc in the offensive end and getting popping pucks and getting them in the right place, getting them on net, that he's going to help your team win, and he's going to get some points in those games. And he did, as he did tonight. I gave him a 9 tonight. I thought it was just an outstanding game from Warren Foegele. I gave really high marks tonight all around, Bruce. I just thought it was such a great win that lots of people got 8s and 7s. So it was quite.
Well, what grade did McLeod get?
8.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
7. He was
7.
Okay.
7.
Well, he got a goal and assist, +1, and he was now in his last 10 games he's 5-2 for 7 points and +7 in 10 games. So he's He was coming from so far down, 3 assists through 21 games. So it's going to take him a long time to get his, season numbers up, but he's making big strides. So credit where due.
He was only involved in 2 grade A shots, and he got points on both of them. So, you could give him an 8. That would have been fine too. Someone could give him an 8. I wouldn't disagree with that. I gave him a 7. If you had just Foegele, for instance, he led the team in shots on net. He was in on 6 grade A shots. Most of them were really, really dangerous. So he could have had another point or 2. Bruce, my good thing, I'll start off with Stuart Skinner. That was his best game in a long time. And in the end, he outplayed Quick because Quick broke and he didn't. Skinner had lots of pressure on him. And, the game was 1-0 heading into the third period. And, he made some really, really big stops. One on Mika Zibanejad on the power play. The puck went to Zibanejad at the side of the net, and he just had to put it in. And Skinner got over there and got his stick on it, I think. And at first, I thought Darnell Nurse.
Yeah, I did too.
I thought Darnell Nurse had stopped it, but no, Nurse didn't. And it was just Skinner getting over there. It's you got to be lucky on a play like that. If Zibanejad puts it elsewhere, he's not going to stop it. But he got it. And then there was another one where it was a 2-on-1, and Chris Kreider got a big shot on net, and he stopped Kreider, and that was a huge save as well. There was another moment where he on the power play where Zibanejad put one off his mask, and Jack Michaels, I thought, made a really good point. I think it was Jack who was suggesting, he can't read Skinner's mind or anything like that either. But he was suggesting that during the broadcast, he thought a year or 2 ago, Skinner wouldn't have thrown off his mask after getting beaten in the face like that. He would have probably tried to keep in the play, desperately tried to keep in the play and follow the play. But as a more veteran player, he realized, okay, you get hit in the mask, conked like that, just knock your mask off. And the refs will accept that as the play stopping, which is exactly what happened. Now, we don't know if that's true or not. He's just guessing. But I thought it was actually a fairly astute guess. And go ahead, Bruce.
His strap broke on the shot. And when the strap breaks, the mask starts moving around, and it's also easier to toss it off your head. Like when it's all strapped up, he couldn't toss that if he wanted to. But because its strap was broke, and I think I think they teach it in goalie school. You take one in the noggin, you try and get a whistle as soon as you can by losing the mask.
Maybe he could, if the strap didn't break 2 years ago, he wouldn't have been able to get it off so easy. But who knows? Mike Smith seemed to get his mask off pretty easy on a regular basis, as I recall. So I'll take it as a savvy veteran move. It's close enough. Anyway, that was a big moment because the rebound had gone to a Ranger and they had slammed it.
Aaron, yeah.
So
that was a good save.
Yeah,
the one that with his head, like he had to come way across, and that was a rocket. Get what you can in front of it.
Zibanejad is a good player. Like he's a dangerous hockey
player.
player.
I enjoy watching him.
He's very good. So Skinner, he let in a couple late goals, but I just thought he was outstanding this game. Just had a great game, and I gave him an 8 for this game.
Well, the official 3 stars were number 1, Stu Skinner, number 2, Warren Foegele, number 3, Ryan McLeod. So we both already covered all 3 stars.
For their territory.
First good things.
What is your second good thing, Bruce?
Yeah, it's going to be the comeback. And the Oilers sort of sticking with it. Like the first period was very frustrating, and I commented that it was like they were playing with an India rubber ball on the ice rather than a frozen puck. The way the thing was bouncing around out there, nobody could get a hold of it. The passes weren't getting through, and the Rangers were clogging the lanes. And that damn Jonathan Quick is in net again. That's been stoning the Oilers for 15 years. Yeah, it was kind of, but where I thought it turned, even though they didn't score, was that late in the second period, Oilers got 2 power plays, and the first one was good, and the second one was fantastic. It was really quite amazing that they didn't score. They created so many outstanding chances, and McDavid was doing his all-over dominating the puck thing and recovering all the loose pucks so that the Rangers couldn't clear the zone. And Edmonton did everything but score, and I'm thinking, well, either Quick's just got the magic elixir tonight, or they should actually gain some confidence from that. And then, sure enough, it was McDavid himself who made the fine play that sort of sprang the tying goal 3 minutes into the third. He made a terrific rush up the boards and a hard backhand pass to Hyman, and he did the 1-2 with Ekholm, back to Ekholm, back into Hyman, Deke roof job. That was a really beautiful goal by all concerned, except possibly Quick, who couldn't make the save. And that was at 3:07, and once again they just kept coming. Last night they got 3 in 69 seconds, and tonight 2 in 70 seconds. 4:17 was Kane's goal off a face-off, and it just sort of came out of nowhere. And you think, well, that probably wasn't the 10th best shot on net the Oilers had in this game, but that was the one that happened to solve Quick. And they just, speaking of Quick, they just kept coming quick. 6:36, 9:52. So goals in the 4th, 5th, 7th, and 10th minutes of the third period. All 4 goals within just 5.5 minutes.
I don't think Quick recovered after Kane's goal. It wasn't a great goal. He should have had that probably.
And he knew it.
He let out a bad rebound play. It was a muffed kind of play on the first shot that goes right back to Quick. And yeah, that was fantastic to see, because you always want to see the other team give up a bad goal. It's a real correlation, I think, to losing, is giving up a bad goal. It's crushing for that team. And then, yeah, the Oilers got 2 more right after it. So there you go.
All scored by wingers at even strength. So Hyman and Kane, and then, of course, McLeod, who's playing wing now, and Foegele. And so 1 from the first line, 2 from the second, 1 from the third. Nice balanced scoring.
My good thing, Bruce, is Zach Hyman, who started it all off. And that was such a crucial goal. I mean, the Oilers have been in the second period, late in the second period. They had a power play where it was a miracle. It was a negative miracle that they didn't score. It was like, how did they not score? They just needed the puck just to bounce a little bit different on 5 different occasions, I think, on that power play, where they were going to be wide open for like a goal off a rebound or a pass, and it just never bounced their way. And they often didn't even end up with shots because of that on that power play. But man, they were putting on the pressure. And I was just thinking, oh no, not again. First, what's his noodle, Vasilevsky. Then who was next? Sorokin, or was it Sorokin?
No, it was Bob.
Oh, Bobrovsky, then Sorokin. And then I thought, here we go again. Jonathan Quick is going to be the 4th guy who's taken a game. So the Oilers didn't deserve to beat the Islanders necessarily, but they could have easily won those other games. And here it's going to happen again. The Oilers are really playing well. By the end of the second period, they had established they were the dominant team in the game, and looked like Quick was going to get them. But Zach Hyman found a way. And that was after he was one of the people in the second period who had been stoned. McDavid on a power play had slipped the puck with a beautiful pass to Hyman in the dead slot, and Hyman couldn't score that time on Quick. But early in that period, McDavid made a fantastic rush up the ice, put the puck back into the middle of the ice where Hyman got it. Hyman put it over to Ekholm, and then Hyman did what he does. He went to the net. And it was Ekholm's pass this time that was beautiful. Right through the Rangers defense to Hyman. And this time, instead of just shooting it, Hyman made an absolutely gorgeous deke to his backhand. It's kind of his trademark move. He's got a couple, I guess. But this is probably his best in tight on the goalie move, if he can execute it. And did he ever? He got off a hard, high backhand shot off that deke, and he beat the unbeatable Jonathan Quick. So huge moment in the game, and Hyman engineered it both in the passing sequence and with his finish on his excellent shot.
Yeah, that was a gorgeous goal all the way around. That old backhand deke, right shot, taking it to the backhand and sticking it right up in the top of the net. That's the old Yari Curry special. Yari used to do that a lot on breakaways, or he just plays in tight to the net, quick over to the backhand. He'd always put it right up under the bar. At least when he was successful, he did, and it was pretty hard to stop because, of course, he had about 9 other ways of beating you too when he wasn't doing that.
Well, yeah, I do recall him making that play. Now that you mention it, but his trademark was his own version of executioner shot, which was the executioner shot version 1 was Gretzky to Curry, and version 2 is McDavid to Draisaitl. So Hyman has 19 goals now, or 20 goals now.
19th was tonight.
Oh, it was his. I see. It was his 30th game. The team's 31st. 19 goals, 30 games.
Yeah, he missed 1 game. He was ill.
Good work, Zach Hyman. Bruce, your bad thing.
Yeah, just really from the last TV timeout to the end, it got way more nerve-wracking than it needed to, I thought. First of all, the refs, right at the TV timeout, they called a penalty for someone coming in over the blue line. And I wasn't sure if it was McLeod or Foegele they called it on, because the two of them just sort of touched the guy with their sticks, and they decided that was hooking in a game where lots worse was nothing. And sure enough, Rangers pull the goalie, and Oilers' Nurse just misses the empty net from like 150 feet. And Rangers come down, they get one in the crease, and Stu can't find it, and they tap it in. And there's still like 4.5 minutes to go, and you're sort of going, or I'm sort of going, uh-oh, that's a long time. And Oilers did pretty good in the time in between. Zach Hyman, your man Hyman, had a great shift protecting the 4-2 lead, where he took it all the way to the end boards, and he just worked the puck along their end boards, which is exactly where you want the puck. And then in between times, though, the Oilers were getting all kinds of chances to score in the empty net. Kane tried from the wrong side of center. I thought it was kind of a selfish play, frankly, but it was like he didn't need to ice it, and he did. Anyway, then there was
McDavid.
One, yeah. Well, Nugent Hopkins had one. McDavid set him up right in the slot.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Circles. I don't know how the hell he didn't score. Well, and I never saw the replay, but
2 box shots, yeah.
And then McDavid wins a race to icing by like 20 feet. He's ahead of everybody, and I think he's just going to pick it up out of the corner, drive hard to the net, and tuck it in. And instead, he sort of picked it up in the corner and came out slowly from the corner to like a foot above the goal line, way off to the side, and just tried to thread the needle from like a very difficult angle, and he hit the post. And so still 4-2. And someone else had a shot at it. Maybe Hyman had a chance at the empty net, and they couldn't get it through. And anyway, it's 4-2, 4-2, 4-2. And then there was too much nervous seconds after that where the Oilers couldn't clear their own zone, and there was still time on the clock. Luckily, they had a 2-goal lead because Rangers scored with 0.05 seconds on the clock. I think it was switching from 0.1 to 0 when the puck went over the line. It looked like to me. Anyway, it was real late, real sleazy goal. And if that had been a tying goal, it would have been just murderous. But thankfully, all it did was it spoiled the Rangers' record. They were saying they're 9-0-1 in 1-goal games. All they had to do was not score there, and they would still be 9-0-1. Too bad, Rangers. You just lost a 1-goal game in regulation.
I don't think they could about that. But
certainly not. It's just one of those things that occurs to strange brains.
Kane needed to take a bit more time. I think he had a bit more time and make sure of that. And McDavid, I think it struck me he might be exhausted at that point in the game when he rushed down the ice to get that puck, because he could have taken it behind the net or, usually he would shift out in front and deke a few people and make sure that he scored, but I think he might have been really tired. Who knows? Bruce, my bad thing is the start of the game, the first period. Now, I thought the Oilers were going to lose the game watching that first period. I thought that, like, earlier today, I was talking to one of my buddies, and I said, I think the Oilers are going to win tonight. Like, I just think McDavid can do it single-handedly. They're desperate to win. They need to win.
Yep.
So I just think they're going to find a way to do it. But in the first period, that feeling evaporated because it just seemed like the Rangers were all over Edmonton. And when it came to 5 alarm chances, the most dangerous chances, the Oilers had 0, and the Rangers had 3 of them. So it just seemed inevitable that there was going to be a goal against the Oilers. And of course, there was a goal. It was a brilliant play by Mika Zibanejad, chipping the puck, wedging the puck, it was like a pool shot. Where the cue ball hits like 5 different walls and then hits the ball and nudges it in the net, except in terms of degree of difficulty, because it's his hard pass around the boards and he chipped it out. It reminded me a little bit of Messi and Anderson, their famous play where Messi or Anderson would be going around the net and they'd drop it back to the other player. The other player would slam it in. I don't know if this was a planned play or something they've done before, but it sure seemed like that. And he chipped it back, and Ekholm got caught going the wrong way. Skinner got caught going the wrong way. McDavid was slow on the back check, and they put it in. I liked Laviolette's strategy, Bruce, of putting the Goodrow line, the fourth line, against the McDavid line, and it worked. For the first couple periods, it worked. And I just wish, I just think, why does an Oilers coach do that? Like, you want to get good matchups? Well, put a checking line. Just go to 3 guys who are checking hockey players, smart checking hockey players, and say, listen, we're going to rely on you to shut down their top line. And the work rate and the effort and the commitment that you'll see on defense from that line, I think, is astonishing. And that's what we saw from that New York Rangers line. That was a big part of it. They were outworking the Oilers. That line was outworking the McDavid line, and the McDavid line got scored on that period. So, that was a rough start for the Oilers. And Skinner made most of the saves in the first and second period, except for the one shot to keep them close in this game. But the Rangers could have easily been up 2-0 going into the third, and I don't think the Oilers would have come back from 2-0 against New York tonight.
Probably not. You know, David, this game reminded me a lot of the Winnipeg game on November 30th, where the Oilers were going to take a 5-day break after the game, and they finally won a game after the start of their winning streak, and this was the 3rd of their winning streak, or the 4th. They'd beaten Vegas in the shootout the game before, and they were down. Winnipeg got a power play goal in the first and was 1-0, and Hellebuyck was stopping everything. And Skinner was stopping everything to keep Edmonton in the game. And it went into the second, deep into the third period. And finally, that time, Connor Hellebuyck broke.
Yeah.
Darnell Nurse beat him from a screen shot from outside to tie it. And then the Oilers won it on a late power play goal. And it was the exact same kind of vibe, going on a long break, scheduled break, 5 days off. So much nicer to do it with a win than a loss. And in each case, they came from behind, 1-0 down after the second to get the job done in the third period. And both times, Stu Skinner was the main reason it was only 1-0 and not 2 or 3-0 after the second, right? So, because if he'd been, average with the way Hellebuyck was playing, Edmonton would have stood no chance. But what he did was basically matched Hellebuyck, save for save, and eventually the Oilers managed to find a couple, and Stu got the job done, and he got it done tonight, even that late goal notwithstanding.
Bruce, what is your number?
Yeah, I got to go with Oilers' 4th line in this game. You're talking about how Rangers entrusted their, Barclay Goodrow line to go up against the Tufts. Well, Edmonton's 4th line of James Hamlin between Adam Ernie and Connor Brown had glaringly poor results, other than the main one, which is they didn't get scored on. So let's start there. This is at 5-on-5, and I'll pick Connor Brown because somehow he managed to have even the worst results on the line. His Corsi in this game was at 5-on-5, 0-15, shots 0-7, scoring chances 0-8, high danger chances 0-3. Like they were just getting caved on possession. And the other guys had one shot each when they were on the ice, and Brown not alone. As you mentioned, he did some nice work on the penalty kill and damn near scored. And 5-on-5 isn't the whole game, even as some people tend to really focus on it as if it were. But in this game, at 5-on-5, he and his line mates got caved. And of course, he was only in there because Sam Gagner got hurt last night. And so he got a ticket back into the lineup, and they put him on the fourth line, and that's what happened to it. So good news is, as I said, they survived without a goal, and that was key. It wasn't pretty.
Brown made a good play in the first, I have to say. There was one, that line was hemmed in the first period, and he essentially willed the puck out of the Oilers' end.
Yes, I remember that.
Battle, and kept battling until it was out. It was a huge moment because they were getting run.
That's where a bunch of those Corsis happened, was on that shift.
Yeah, there was two shifts, I think. Basically, we're talking about two of their shifts went really wrong. And on that shift, I think they'd already let 2 grade A shots on net, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's that shift, but Brown got it out in the end. Might have been that. Anyway, so good play by him in that regard. I didn't mind Brown's game. I thought he thought it was had some good moments. But of course,
make good defensive plays.
Yeah.
But there's and early in the season, he had good numbers. Like the Oilers are pushing the puck, and it just seems a matter of time it's going to start going in. But since he came back from his injury, they've been on the short end of the shots and the chances and so on. And
I wonder what his injury was, and still slowed by it. Anyway, it'll be good for him to get some time off, perhaps, and rest up and come back at it again. Bruce, my number is 148 to 85. 148 to 85. And that's in the last 11 games. The Oilers have had 148 grade A shots at even strength, 5-on-5, or not at even strength, not 5-on-5. 148, and they've given up 85. This is a level of domination at even strength. It's hard to imagine how good the Oilers have been at even strength these last 11 games. They have been just kicking butt, and tonight it was 11-8 at even strength. So against the best team in the NHL, they got the best of the in strength battle. Their defense, their 6 defensemen, I think, have really stepped up and are playing outstanding hockey, almost to a man. Some of the best hockey each of them has played in his career. I mean, I didn't see Ekholm's career in Nashville,
right,
but certainly in Edmonton, Ekholm has just been playing fantastic hockey. Bouchard's out of this world moving the puck. Darnell Nurse has been playing some of his best hockey. Cody Ceci stepped up, and Kulak and Desharnais are playing well. This whole group of 6 defensemen, I think, are killing it. The first line is killing it. Some of the bottom line players are killing it. They haven't had the second line going, but when I totaled up these numbers, I had to check them 2 or 3 times. I couldn't believe it because it's such a level of even strength domination. It's damn impressive, and it's weird that the Oilers have been able to lose some games when they're dominating like that at even strength. It just shows there's more to hockey. There's special teams and there's goaltending, and there's puck luck and finishing plays off. But that is great even strength hockey in the last 11 games for the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, you could probably go back a couple games before that, and it would
Yeah,
Like I think games 19 and 20, they won in a walk.
yeah,
They shut out Washington and then they stomped Anaheim. And
yeah.
then
It's even more, probably even bigger, like a longer streak than just
yeah,
11 games. Might be more than
yeah.
that.
Well, they're 10 and 3 in those 13 games,
Yeah,
and it seems like they could be better than 10 and 3.
yeah. Doesn't it? It does
Like, I
actually.
mean, when you chance the other team by 2-1, you should win most of the games, not just
At even
2/3
strength.
of them. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
especially when
and
you've got their
overall,
power play and you've got their
yeah.
power play. So, yeah, I do. I think the Oilers are. This was another reason I was thinking, like the Oilers. Yeah, yeah. Of course they can win tonight against the Rangers. The Oilers are this juggernaut right now, and they're not necessarily always getting the result. But this is a really good hockey team, and they're playing that way. They haven't, won every game they could, but they're in every game. The one game they looked bad was the Islanders game, but this is an excellent hockey team at even strength, and it should translate as the season goes on into a high rate of victory for the team, well over 600 winning percentage, probably something closer to 2 out of 3 games that they could win for the rest of the year, I think.
Yeah, they're dominating a lot of games, and it's been pointed out for quite a while. And some folks say, statistics are for losers. And they because it happened so repeatedly at the first part of the year, it was unbelievable. They'd come out and they'd outshoot somebody 80-30, and they'd come out on the short side of the stick. And we just saw it again with the Islanders. And sometimes you just shake your head. But
Shots aren't great. Like that's the thing, though. Like the five alarm shots have been similar, although they were 10-10 tonight. They were
right,
even, but the five
right.
alarm shots have been double in the 10 games in that 10 game segment. The five alarm shots at even strength, the Oilers doubled the opposition. In the first run of games under Woodcroft, no, the opposition had more five alarm shots than the Oilers did. So it was a different. I know they were out shooting teams, but they weren't getting the higher shot quality. It was very close. The Oilers were very close to the opposition, and when you factored in then goaltending, the Oilers were, not surprising, they were going to lose some games then. This is different, though. This is just an utterly dominant performance by Edmonton
Well, in
in this stretch of play.
their last 13 games, they've had they've been over 60% in most of the fancy stats, including finally goals. And this is just 5-on-5, but the Oilers had 57% of the shots, which is really good, 60% of the goals, 60% of the expected goals. Finally, they agree with one another after so many games where, well, we had 80% of the expected goals and we lost 3-2. How'd that happen? And they last for over a stretch of games. You need a stretch of games for those stats really to mean anything. And it was 60% expected, 60% actual. And of high danger chances, 62%. And that's sort of equivalent to our five alarms, or certainly our grade A, 62%. And we had what, 65? So either way,
Yeah,
anything over 60 is fantastic in this league,
yeah, it
any
really is.
category.
It really is. All right, Bruce, the conundrum. The conundrum is this: the Oilers may be looking for a boost in the next little while, making a trade. Maybe like for a big third or fourth line center or winger, or for another goalie, a backup goalie, another goalie. And I think if they can pull that off, that's a great thing. And when you have these great hockey players, you want to do what you can to help them win the Stanley Cup. I'm not against that. The trades last year that happened at the deadline, I wasn't against those trades. One of them was they brought in Bugstad, Nick Bugstad, and big center, and he played well for the Oilers, especially in the regular season. He was okay in the playoffs. But one of the things you have to think about in these trades is, what are you giving up in terms of prospects? And the Oilers gave up a player called Michael Kesselring in that trade. And just right now, Bruce, before our eyes, and the Oilers spent years developing this player. And he looked to me and to you and to many others like he was gonna be like had a real chance at a decent NHL career because he's big, he was fast, super competitive, and a smart hockey player. Right now, Michael Kesselring is making some real noise in Arizona. He's played 16 games for them now. He has 3 goals, 5 assists, and 8 points. He's a big 6'5", 6 foot right shot defenseman. He's +4 in those games. And he's part of a group of defensemen, J.J. Moser and Sean Dursey. Like there's 3 guys there who can really move the puck, it looks like now. So Kesselring, that was kind of a missing element from his game. You could see that he had the potential to be solid, moving the puck, solid defensing. He just had to all come together for him, but it has. So this is the price you pay if you're a team in contention, is if you trade away prospects, that can come back to haunt you. You know, you're cashing in the chips so you can try to compete for the Stanley Cup, but you're giving away a big piece of the future. And that's exactly what happened with Michael Kesselring. Is happening with Michael Kesselring. He looks like he is going to stick in Arizona. You know, it's still early days. Lots can happen, but good for Kesselring, and it's just a cautionary tale as I see it. And you know, in terms of being the conundrum, I think you probably, as long as you have these great players, you got to go for it. You got to cash in your chips. But Kesselring would be a nice, you know, Desharnais's a good bottom pairing defenseman. Kesselring, though, in the long run, might have a far superior career to Desharnais. He seems to be showing more offense, and he's quite a bit. He's about 3 or 4 years younger. So
Kesselring got called up 5 weeks ago. He's played 16 games for Arizona. They've won 10 of them, and he has scored 3 goals now, 5 assists, 8 points, +4. And obviously he's on a heater because he's just not playing enough minutes. Like he's typically somewhere between 10 and 16 minutes in a game, looking at his game log, and he's third pairing all the way. But geez, what do you want from your third pairing? You know, he's got points. He's a plus player. Your team's winning games with him in there. And Nick Bjugstad, meanwhile, is back in Arizona.
Yeah.
Also helping them win games. And the Oilers are looking up at Arizona in the standings. So stings a little, but you know, you gotta offer players, and I mean, at least the Oilers got something for Kesselring, which is more than they got for Eric Gustafson, and more than they realistically got for John Marino, which was 2 good draft choices they made, where the guy never played a game for him, just like Kesselring, and now is an NHL player. And those are frustrating from especially a guy like Gustafson, where they just didn't sign him, and he went to another NHL team and signed there.
At the other end of the spectrum, Bruce, Matthias Ekholm has just been killing it for the Oilers. Like he was great last year. He's great right now. And the player the Oilers traded, Reed Schaefer, still early, very early days. Right. So I'm not writing them off. But he has 1 goal in 24 games for the Milwaukee Admirals. So he's not exactly having a great rookie year so far in the AHL. They also got a first-round draft pick, and I'm just trying to see who did Nashville take with that draft pick this year. Kalen Lind. No, that's not it. That was their second-round pick. Nashville took Tanner Molendick of the Saskatoon Blades. Well, he's having a good year. He's got 28 points in 24 games, Molendick. He was taken 24th overall by Nashville. Would that be the Oilers pick though? Must have been.
They would have been. What were they?
Yeah, that's right. Because the Oilers were eliminated fairly early in the playoffs there. So
yeah.
24th overall was the pick.
Fourth? Yeah, sounds about right.
And he's doing okay. So we'll see. We'll see how that trade works out. But Ekholm, if a player, that's why I like Holland's philosophy when he was trying to trade for a player last year. Like, he wanted some guy with term on his contract. That's a heck of a good idea. Too bad Bukestad didn't have one more year at a reasonable price, because the Oilers would be a little further ahead than they are right now in that deal. But you can't. Not every trade can be perfect, and you had a hole to fill. You're trying to win the cup. You go for it.
Yeah, well, you weren't going to get an extra year at $450,000, which was what the cap hit was for Bukestad last year. That was his bargain basement.
Yeah.
As they come, because Arizona retained half of a $900K salary. So you mentioned Reed Schaefer, and I'll caution that, and I agree with you that it's too early to write him off. And I'll say a couple things about Reed Schaefer. He's a big power forward. He's a late birthday, meaning he only got one junior year after his draft before being thrust into pro hockey.
So
and the thing
really
is, it's those guys, the late birthdays, who actually wind up playing at the youngest age in the AHL because they only have 1 year left. So he played when he was still 19 years old when he started.
Yeah.
And a real good comp for him, I think, is a guy we actually saw playing in this game tonight, Tyler Pitlick, who the Oilers selected with the number 32 overall draft pick in 2010. Identical. Was it 32? Maybe it was 31. Anyway, right at the same place. He was the first pick in the second round. And or Schaefer was the last pick in the first round because the league had expanded between 2010 and 2022. But, just right there at the bottom of the first round. And Pitlick was the same sort of general player, big, power forward, 19 years old when he started, and he also had 19-year-old competition for the same job in Curtis Hamilton. So the Oilers really gummed it up there. And it took him a long while to come around, but you know what? He's played over 400 NHL games now, Tyler Pitlick. And I'm not saying Reed Schaefer is that player, but I'm not going to say he isn't that player, And he might be, he might play 400 games and score a bunch more goals than Tyler Pitlick did too, for that matter. But all I'll say for here right now is before Christmas in his rookie season, as especially on the younger side of the age curve, in the AHL is way too early. I like any rookie in the AHL. I like to judge their first half, like before New Year's, versus what they do in the second half. And often they really take a springboard jump around mid-season.
Yeah, it is too early to write off Reed Schaefer. And the other thing to keep in mind with Nashville's farm team is this is a farm team stacked with young talent. They've got like former first-round draft picks, 19-year-old Joachim Kennel, 20-year-old Fedor Svechkov, and 20-year-old Zachary Leroux. They're all doing well and all ahead of Schaefer at this point in the lineup, and they were taken higher in the draft. Mm-hmm. So they are really stacked with some fine young forward prospects in the Nashville farm system right now. So,
yeah, whereas Oilers, not so much.
Not so much, Bruce.
They traded out so many of their top 4-round draft picks in recent years, and then now they've started trading prospects, actual prospects like Kesselring and Schaefer, and the cupboard's pretty bare.
And they lost tonight.
In overtime, yeah.
In overtime, Bakersfield did. So, yeah. Yeah, they're
running on mute on the other screen. I was looking over a couple times, I saw the winning goal. You may have seen me grimace. It was a 4-on-3 power play in overtime. Got a point.
Raphael Lavoie, 9 goals in 16 games.
Tied it up.
Xavier Bargault, 10 points in 21 games. So that's okay. Not great.
3 times they tied it up. Grube, Bourgault, and Lavoie were the goal scorers, but they never could forge ahead. 4th goal, but he's not there for his offense. He's a worker bee, defensive center.
Cool.
Big right shot defensive center.
All right, Bruce, this will be our last podcast. Maybe we'll do one, I don't know, I don't know when we'll do the next one. 20 after
28th
Christmas.
is the next game.
28th. So we'll do one then
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Bruce. Let's leave it there for tonight. Thank you for talking tonight, and Merry Christmas to you, Bruce.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you, David, and to all of the watchers and listeners of the Cult Hockey Podcast. We appreciate you. And compliments of the season to one and all. Thanks for listening.
And in the meantime, and in between time, this has been another edition of the Cult of Hockey Podcast.